think, good luck. It's a joke. You can laugh. What happens is sometimes we tell the people to keep relaxing, and everybody starts getting more and more tense. These meditation retreats can very easily become concentration camps. It's funny, I did a retreat in May or something. I did a retreat in Melbourne in the new retreat center that I was helping build in our Newbury Monastery, the SOS Retreat Center. And I kept telling people on that we did it like this guided meditation, 45 minutes. I said, okay, just relax, don't do anything, just relax, 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 don't do anything, relax. And then after 45 minutes, I said, okay, now we're going to take about 15-minute break. And there were a few people with this, like they got up and they was like sighed. Oh, finally, I can just take a break. So, try to think about really taking a break and really like don't sort of start, like the habit is there, you start doing things, no matter what I tell you and no matter what you tell yourself, but just sort of do things with wisdom. So we are really trying to do as little as possible here on the weekend retreat. Any meditation should be like that, really. So if you start seeing striving, just think about, I'm going to take a toilet break. And I'm not coming with you to the toilet break. You don't need to hold me to hold your hand while you're doing your toileting. Your mom taught you a long time ago. So, the striving is one of the problems. So I always like to just keep reminding everybody, just don't strive too much. Is anybody here who's first time doing weekend? What? First time? So many? I can't believe. Really first time? Like really, really first time? Put your hands up again. Really first time? I can't believe you. Where have you been all this time? Wow, that's amazing. Well done. Really, really, really first time. It's actually probably the best meditation retreat you're going to have. After this, it's just all downhill. I remember when I started meditating, and the first time it's just sort of like, because you don't know what you're doing, and all kind of interesting things happen, and it's exciting. I'll tell you, after 20 odd years, nothing exciting happens anymore. No, it's good for anybody, even if you've been meditating for a while, or a long time even. There's a nice quote from Suzuki Roshi, one of the Zen teachers. He said that every time you meditate, you should be like a beginner. So even if you've been meditating for a while and you sort of know what you're doing, even though we don't, none of us know really what we're doing. Really try to have the beginner's mind. It really is a good mind. Take that attitude of, I'm just here to relax. So good. It's well done of you to come first time to meditation retreats. I hope you're not going to be, it's a short retreat, so you should be fine. But don't think too much about the schedule. The schedule is there just to, because some people like schedules. If you don't like schedules, don't worry about it. If you need to sleep tomorrow late, sleep late, that's fine. If you want to come for the morning meditation, for the guided meditation in the morning, that's good. If afterwards I do the guided meditation, you feel like you want to walk out, please walk out. I don't mind. I've seen it all. The worst thing for me was that I was teaching in prison one time, and we had usually people want to be, when we teach and people want to be here, right? Did anybody force you to come here tonight? Somebody's husband sent you, like wife? But one time I was teaching in this prison, actually in Karnat there, our neighbor. And all of a sudden, because usually we don't get that many people coming for the meditation class we're teaching. I think even tonight the monks are going. One of the monks go there. I haven't been able to go. A few years I've been doing other things. I wasn't here for 3 years, so I was there in Melbourne. All of a sudden there was just, the hall was packed. There's like a little chapel, and we always meditate on the chapel. And there's usually, let's say, max 10 people if you're lucky. Usually it's about 5, 6, 7, something like that. And all of a sudden there's like, I think it was like 25, 30 odd fellas there. And I was like, what happened here? All of a sudden the meditation just got like popular in the prison. I was like, oh, this is not right. So I asked the guys, like, how come you're here? They said, well, we have to go through this course, and this is the anger management course. And in prison you have to go through these courses. Oh, you wouldn't have to. A lot of them are volunteers, but it actually looks good on your record if you do that. So you if you want to have an earlier release or something. And so there was these guys being categorized as aggressive prisoners, and obviously they said, okay, all of you guys, you should go into the anger management course. So they were all in that, and the teacher there who was teaching that course, he said, well, okay, there's a meditation class on Friday, so everybody, you should go there. And all of them, they thought they had to go there. The teacher just sort of have suggested, but they sort of took it as, well, we have to go there. So all of a sudden I have these like 30 guys with anger problems who don't want to be in my meditation class. So I said, well, great. Well, let's do some meditation. And so I was trying to do this like really like, oh, just relax, relax your, like where you feel tension. It's like, and it was just sort of building up. There's the pressure was building up, and it was like just once in a while I open my eyes a little bit, and I could see there's like some of the guys are fidgeting, and there's this one guy who was right next to me. And he was just like really clenching his fist. I'm sure he had some kind of, it wasn't just that he was just angry. I'm sure there was like some kind of tension inside of him. So it was like he was really clenched. It was like, and it was just, I saw him in the corner. It was like, I was like, okay, I was like, relax, everybody. Even if you no need to clench your fist. Just relax your hand. Just let them be. So I was going through that, and like. All of a sudden, I just heard like somebody just jolted up. I was like, okay, somebody's gonna punch me in the face now. And I was just like, okay, act normal. I said, just continue. And then I heard him got up. The chair behind him just sort of screeched a little bit because he just jolted up. And then he just like stand there for a couple seconds, and then just like he marched out. He literally just like walked out really quickly out of the room, and I heard the door open, and and he just ran out. And I was like, oh, good. At least he didn't punch me. But so look here, if you need to leave any point, it's like, look, it's fine. And I've like I said, I've seen many things happen in this. So you want to be here, so that's good. But anytime with movement, and this becomes the same thing for a lot of us, we meditate here, and it was like we're supposed to be sitting, not moving. Don't move, meditation, no movement, okay? No, I'm just kidding, you can move. When you're moving, that thing, what starts to happen in your mind, you're just sort of like, oh, everybody's so quiet. I'm the only one who's want to move. And then you just start getting the pain, starts building up, like they know I'm a long-time meditator, and I'm now supposed to be, I don't want to move, but I need to move, my leg hurt, so you start getting really angry about the pain in the knee, and then you're building up this pressure and the anger towards the knee, and I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, and then you move really quickly. So now you're moving with anger. You build up a lot of anger towards this thing. So try to have this kind of like attitude. It's like, okay, there's pain. It's just the body. It's nothing to worry about. People around me are not gonna be worried about it if I move. So what you have to do is just sort of like, okay, there's, tension building up. I just quietly, okay, body needs to move, then quietly move. And that's it. Because otherwise what happens, you're building up this anger, and then you move, and the pain is still there. So then you're going to move again. And then it's like, now I moved twice. Well, now they're going to really hear me. Well, I'm going to move again. So you're going to be fidgeting all the time, back and forth, instead of just having good attitude. It's really we're trying to build, develop a good attitude when we're meditating. And so it's all about good attitude. And the best simile I've sort of come up last few years about meditation and why we're supposed to have comfortable body. Why sitting is a good posture. We have other postures as well. You can stand meditation, that's fine. You can do walking meditation. I can, have a little guidance on that since there's so many first-timers. Or you can lie down meditation. What's the problem with lying down meditation? I mean, it's good as any, but you fall asleep really easy. But when you're in a bed and you're just lying there, that's fine. It's good as any. But what you notice while lying down meditation, you either fall asleep, or if you really try to find a comfortable posture, you just have so much surface area. It's almost like you always want to move a little bit. You're always moving your body a little bit. It's hard to just sort of become quite static. And static is the word what I've noticed that people can relate to this a little bit with the sitting meditation. So why do we sit comfortably? You don't get extra points sitting on the ground, unfortunately. You're not, guaranteed enlightenment if you can learn how to sit fully lotus. Why do we need to sit comfortably? Why does the body have to be comfortable? That's really what we have to keep in mind. We need to be comfortable. The word is static. So if you have static noise, for example, I always say like the air con in the room, but we don't have air con now running in the room. But you can imagine this. Let's say you're at home and the refrigerator been running for a while. You don't even notice that. It's been just running there. You're sitting in the kitchen and all of a sudden it stops. Only then you can notice that it stopped. It's been running. It's a static noise. And then you notice that it stopped. And then there's quietness. And you just sometimes it's even sometimes we don't even notice that it was actually it was bothering me. There was this kind of hum, and it was bothering me, but I wasn't even paying attention to that because it was static. It's constant noise. And only when it changes, then you pay attention to that. You can pay attention. And again, when there's something quiet, it stopped, you can only sort of notice that quietness, that stopping for 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and then again you start drifting into something which is moving. So that's my simile for having a body which is comfortable, which you don't have to move all the time. If you have a body which you can find, it's sitting comfortably there, and honestly, it's just if you're sitting on a cushion like this, over the years you got used to it, and it's good as any. But I don't like to sit on the chair because the legs are so somehow far, and I find that the blood circulation gets a bit tricky after a while. You're sitting like that, but it's good as any. But you want to make the body comfortable so it becomes like static, so you don't all the time pay attention to that. And that's the same thing, and that's why the movement, if there's the body, the pain starts getting it like. You start paying too much attention to the pain, you cannot drop the body. So if you're sitting like this, and quite often for me, I have I have back pain sometimes coming up. I have to move, so I have to change my posture a little bit. But I just do it like, okay, I just have to move, and I move it, and I just then try to relax the body again. So it becomes this non-moving object, which I don't need to think about all the time. Because what is supposed to happen in meditation is that the body becomes sort of something you don't really pay attention. So the mind always needs to have an object. And if the body is an object all the time, let's say it's painful all the time, it's really, a stressing object. It's not, who wants to go to a meditation retreat and just look at the pain for the weekend or 9-day retreat? What are we doing here? It's crazy. If you come to a meditation retreat and said, what were you doing? I was watching a pain for a whole week and my body was in agony, but I endured. And everybody's just sort of like, why did you go there? Doesn't make any sense. But a lot of meditation retreats, unfortunately, they become like that. I'll tell you another story. When I started meditating, and nobody told me this. That's why I always emphasize a lot. Don't become this kind of person who's just thinking, if I endure the pain, I'm somehow better. No, don't do that. And for me, nobody told me this. The instructions I always got in the beginning, just sit down, and you're supposed to be sitting on the ground and just watch the breath. Just keep looking at the breath. Just go back to the breath. If there's pain in the body, go back to the breath. You're sleepy, go back to the breath. 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 That is a standard teaching, what they give you. Most meditation teachers give you that. Except here. Ajahn Brahm doesn't teach that, and obviously I've been brainwashed with so many years, and I've started to realize that it's just not emphasized enough. You cannot go back to the breath, back to the breath, back to the breath, and think it wants to stay with you, because you're going with it aggressively. The breath, it doesn't want to stay with you. The mind wants to go to the pain in the body. It wants to fantasize just so it can just get out of here. It doesn't want to stay that kind of object. Breath is not very interesting object, but the mind always needs an object. Okay, so go back to the story. So what happened? I was brainwashed into this kind of thing. It's like, okay, go back to the breath. Meditation is just like, I'm just going to be sweating for 45 minutes to an hour, just in agony, especially in the beginning. You're sitting on the ground. You're supposed to be sitting on the ground like this. It somehow adds into this meditation we're doing. Yes, sitting on the cushion. You're a better meditator. Everybody's doing this. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Go to the meditation class. Sweat for 1 hour with pain. And boy, we're doing something. You feel like you've done something. You endured. So I kept doing that for a while. I lived in New York. There was this amazing place nearby me, and I went to these different teachers. I kept going to these classes. I was so excited about this. I went for every day of the week. I was just very lucky. There were like different teachers nearby me, so I went there and just kept enduring. And then first retreat. Did I go for a weekend retreat? No. Did I go for 5-day retreat? No. Did I go for a 9-day retreat? No. I went for a 1-month retreat. Straight away. Good idea. Great. I was in a lot of pain. And I went to a retreat where it was like the teachings, it was like a Zen style retreat. And they are very strict about that form. Form is everything. So sitting is like, there's a certain way of sitting. And straight from the morning, so you start sitting, wake up early, can't remember what time, but I think we start at 4 o'clock in the morning. You sit for a few hours, then it's breakfast time, and you even eat breakfast like this, so you keep sitting like this. And I wasn't used to it. Like now my knees go a little bit down, but most of the time I was just sitting like this, like knees quite high up. So can you imagine like sitting like this, holding up with your muscles really like for so many hours? Your ankles are burning, your knees are burning, and then you have the breakfast, and then you go back to the sitting. And we had this schedule of like we sat for 40 minutes, and then it was 20-minute walking, something like that, all day. And then it was one time the break in the morning, the breakfast, while sitting the same way like this, and then it was lunch, keep sitting on the ground, eating from that, the Zen style. They have like these bowls and you eat it with the chopsticks, and it was quite formalized. Continue a whole day. I was in, I don't know, it was like a religious experience, that kind of pain. And I remember first night, because I'm going into back of my sleeping bag, like 9 o'clock in the morning. I was like, going sleeping bag, and it's like you're just like it's just so painful. It feels like good at this point already. It's just like the pain and the pleasure. It's just sort of like you're just stretching your legs and you just go into the sleeping bag, and it's like, you kind of only experience like, I can't take this. It's like, what did I do? 29 days I have to do this. I can't, I just barely survived the day one. And then you just go into the sleeping bag, and it's literally, because it was so painful, it's pleasurable going into like stretching. It's this experience of like, wow. And you just go to this, you're like, I don't know, I'm going to do that. And it's like, and because it's so pleasurable, you just fall asleep, this blissful sleep, and then it's like, bing! I was like, what? Like, I didn't know there was like an evening tea or something, like, it's 4 o'clock? Day 2. I don't know, I'm going to do this. And then you do a day 2, and then it's like after day 2, I was like, oh my God, I don't know, I'm going to do this 28 days. After a week, you start feeling like, oh, I'm some kind of hero. I'm going to get a medal after this. Like, so I did it for like a month. And it's like after a month, you just feel like, it's like you've done something. It's like nothing is going to move me anymore. I can take so much pain. My like the bones are just like, no matter what happens, like the pain I can take. And it took me years to get out of that kind of habit of meditation is painful. Meditation is painful. Meditation is painful. That's what we're doing here. We're enduring pain. No, don't do that. Don't get into this habit. Really try to think, it's like, I'm just here to breathe. I'm just here to relax. Even that, I like that idea. So what are we doing? I'm just breathing here for the weekend. I'm just breathing. What am I doing? I'm just nothing. I'm just breathing. How difficult can it be? I don't need to tell you how to breathe. Even you've been the first time, breathe. How? Just don't worry about it. Just breathe. People think it's technique. No, don't worry about it. It's not a technique. It's about attitude. Honestly, I've been monk long enough now. I've seen enough people. I've lived enough time, long enough with other monks, and I know my teachings enough. I know it's not a technique. If something is missing in your meditation, it's not that your technique is wrong. Believe me, it comes from the word of the Buddha, and that's what we teach most of the time. This weekend, I'm not going to go there too deeply, but if something is missing in your meditation, it's about kindness of your heart. It's an attitude which is missing. Your attitude is wrong. It's about letting go, not trying to do something. It's like having a good attitude. It's like for all of you, if you long time meditator, you studied suttas, I'm still not getting anywhere. What's missing? You have a wrong attitude. You have a wrong kind of your kindness of your heart. I mean, if you want to use the Pali word sila, sila is not just following precepts, like as if your precepts are not, good enough. Yes, you keep your 5 precepts, but the sila is more about this big picture of this kind of kindness. Are you kind enough towards yourself? That's the technique. If there's a technique to any of this, it's kind attitude, relaxing, just trying to learn to be with yourself. It's not like you need to meditate the way I meditate, or you need to tell me like how we're supposed to be doing. It's really, honestly, it's not a technique. It's not about enduring pain. It's not about doing one way fits all. It's not about today I do it this way and tomorrow will be exactly the same. It's not about that. So now in the beginning, the first night, I'm trying to tell you these things. You forget most of it, and that's why we tell stories. You will remember my story about the enduring pain. That that's how our brains work. Again, so that's why we try not to tell these kind of like small little technical things and all that, because it's like you'll forget it, most of it. So keep something in mind. Just whatever happens, I'm here just to relax. I'm here to breathe. I don't need to follow a schedule. I don't need to be in pain. So, but, there's always the but. Not too many buts. I'm sure there's always a but. So I should be here a lot of time, a lot of hours. You don't need to be in a hall. But as long as you are with your own mind. So distraction is something which is what we're trying to avoid. Distraction is mostly these days your phone. So try to send an emoji to your loved one tonight, hearts, kisses. I get back to you on Sunday afternoon, if you can. That's the best. That really is going to stop you, big time. The other things, like you're going to be daydreaming, don't worry about it too much. But as long as you can keep your phone off until Sunday, like it's like the world is not going to end, and your loved ones will still understand that if you get back to it on Sunday afternoon, that you can keep you off from there. Because what happens, your mind goes out in the world. So if you want to go out in the world, well, go for a walk in the nature. Go, walk around Jhana Grove. We've been here many times, and there's like paths where you can walk. That's a good way to go out in the world. You don't need to go any further than that. Once you have the phone, you start, reading your emails or text messages or WhatsApp, whatever. Your mind goes too much. It goes too far. So the but is the restraint part. And in Buddhism, we talk about sense restrainment. So you come to a meditation retreat. Sense restrainment is that, well, we have limited things we can really do. You don't need to think about this. I'm going to sit here for 12 hours. That's going to be the best thing for me. If you sit for 40 minutes, tomorrow all day, rest of the time you're just walking around, sort of daydreaming, looking something, but you can't see anything. It's just, the mind is just too close to you. You just have a problem and you're just thinking about it. It doesn't go any further than this. You just have the problem, you just see everything through that problem. You have a problem at home, work, wherever, and only thing you can see is that problem here, right in front of you. Can't see anything. You're just looking through that problem. You see the world a little bit, but mostly you just see this. And then once in a while, you just look through. Like, yeah, no, I just see my problem. As long as you don't distract yourself, it will start moving a bit further. You start seeing the problem, but it's at the arm's length. This is Ajahn Brahm's simile. I'm stealing all of his similes, being his good student. The problems are there, but if it's too close, you don't see anything. You put it at arm's length. Problem is there. You can see the world. You see the problem but it's at its right place. It's at arm's length. But you just need to give it time. patience is the way to do it. Not to distract yourself, because if you distract yourself, it's there, but you ignore it. We try not to ignore things. Yeah, you have a problem? Yep. It's here, as long as you have that kind of like, I'm just not going to distract myself too much. I'm just going to be walking around, enjoying the sunshine. Once in a while, I just go in the hall, sit, half an hour, whatever. No need to clock yourself. Sit as long as you feel like sitting. There's a sort of energy builds up, and then it's like once in a while maybe you want to sit longer. But if you don't want to sit long, it's fine. Again, a little bit into that kind of moving and this and that. Move quietly, because some people here are enjoying quiet time, and they just happen to be at that time in their life where they don't have that much problems, and they were just enjoying here. So you need to move quietly, mindfully. It's like if you have this aggressive attitude, people can feel it. So even if you have that and you have this tension, you still like, oh, I respect others. I respect this quiet place here in the hall. Everywhere, really. So no need to, don't talk to others. You don't need to even look at others. It feels awkward in the beginning when you retreat. I mean, okay, we only have one day, but you don't need to even look at others and nod and say, good morning. No need to do that here in the retreat center. We're used to that. The other meditators, or you as a meditator, you should understand it as well. Nobody looks at the other people, don't look at you. It's not that they're aggressive. They don't want to ignore you. They just want to be in their own heads. So you just look in front of you, and that's sort of like you just look going around, going for the breakfast, pick up the food. If you want to smile, that's always good. Smiling is good. No need to be too serious about things. Smiling is good. But you don't need to say morning and this kind of like politeness things. That's not needed really. Just look in front of you and yeah, sure, smile at somebody. That's fine. But try to be really with that tension that I'm just here, just looking what's happening inside of myself, not to run away from what's in the mind, not distracting myself. That's what we're really doing. And then things can happen. The quietness can happen by itself. You're not doing anything. Again, so try not to do things. The quietness will happen. It has to happen. And that's why actually for like I said, first-timers, it is the best when you are really starting the meditation. There's no really, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, well, that's nice. It's exciting. It's sort of like you notice these little things, like all of a sudden there was just peace. So enjoy those moments, even if you've been doing it for a long time. Always remember, notice those moments of peace. But the moments of peace don't come from you thinking yourself into the peacefulness. It comes from good attitudes, your kindness. It comes from just allowing things to happen, not doing things. Honestly, that's the way it happens. There is no something that you need to keep a form, that you just sit like this for 8 hours, and it happens. For me, sometimes when we just finished our rains retreat, our 3 months retreat a few weeks ago, and I remember sometimes in maybe 10 years ago or something, and I was struggling a lot. I was putting a lot of hours into sitting like this in my hut in the forest, and we do even like self-retreats during the rains retreat where I don't have to do anything. But literally, they just bring my food to my hut. I don't even have to pick up my food. They bring my food, and I'm fasting for like 23.5 hours, and then the food appears into my hut. And so I can't even distract myself with the food. And then I was like, then you're just really hungry, and then you eat like 20 minutes. And then it's like, well, that's over. well, then just wash your bowl and this and that. So like continue sitting and walking, sit and walking. And I didn't notice that there was like this, how much pressure there was. Like that was just really, it tends to build very, very easily, especially when you're by yourself and it's hard to see sometimes with those little things, those underlying causes we call it sometimes. And for me, what happened, and then every 2 weeks we have this what we call patimokkha. You go and meet the other monks. We confess our offenses. We recite the rules, and I talked a little bit with my fellow monastic, with my friends, and all of a sudden I just realized I felt relaxed. I just felt good. After 2 weeks of not saying anything, really just being in this kind of quite rigid form, but I just sort of relaxed. And then the meditation happened. Only after 2 weeks of doing this struggle, which I didn't even notice how much I was struggling, but I just somehow was able to just let go. And perhaps a weekend retreat, if there's anything, we only have one day, really. I mean, today I'm trying to inspire you, and hopefully you can sleep well tonight. And if you want to wake up, if you say you just wake up naturally tomorrow and you want to come for the morning meditation and then just sit and walk tomorrow, that's good. But even on this weekend retreat, so don't waste your time tomorrow. That's why I'm just again, I'm not trying to push you, but I'm trying to inspire you. We really only have tomorrow is the whole day. So if you can have that time where okay, I need to look inside of myself. So what's happening? You do that, and it gives you a tremendous amount of relaxation. You don't really notice how it's working, but then Sunday, you go home, and you struggled even all weekend, and then you just have a little chat with your partner, or you see the kids, and you sit down and just I just feel relaxed. So I'll tell you another story. I don't want to keep talking all night. I think we're going to meditate a little bit as well. But they did this research on this university. I'm not sure this is true story, but Ajahn Brahm's stories are always true, so it must be, again, stolen from him. So they did in psychology group, they were trying to test how does meditation work. So they sent 3 groups. So we had the control group, didn't do anything, just normal weekend home. Then we have two other groups, or the 3 groups, control group. Then it was the group who goes to meditation retreat. Oh yes, meditate, good. And then it's going to be the other group which goes to a spa. So 3 groups. And so they did this experiment, and or the test, and then it's then they take the results. So then they check who's the most relaxed after this weekend. So the first group, control group, go home obviously no difference because there was just regular weekend. And then there was the groups of one went to the meditation retreat and the other one went to spa. So of those 2 groups, the people who went to spa, they were the most relaxed. And all of those groups, the people who went to meditation retreat, they were the most tense. So they were even more tense than the control group. Why? Because you come to meditation retreats and you need to be tense, right? You've done something. Not so in here, not with Ajahn Mudito. No, they did the wrong control group. If they would have sent it to my group, they would be way more relaxed, even more relaxed than the spa group. But even if you feel your tense is building up, you try to your teacher is inspiring you, I'm relaxing, I'm just breathing. Even then, you forget, it starts to build up, you have a problem. Still you go home Sunday, still better. It's still better to be here than going into spa. You know what? Because the long-term benefits are bigger. So sure, that spa weekend is relaxing in some ways. You just, it's nice, warm water. I wish I was at spa. What else you do there? You go to sauna. As a Finnish person, sauna is always nice. But you come to a meditation retreat, and I hope you're not going to be tense. But even if you have those kind of things that it starts building up, you still want to do this. There is still some kind of thing which is just, you find that if you look at what's happening inside of yourself, and you just don't distract yourself all the time, quietness is really soothing for the mind. Being in this kind of environment, having patience, it's just sort of somehow, it has a really long-term good benefits. And most of you, even first-timers, you will come back. Marketing strategy, we know how to sell this place. It's better than spa. It really is. And as long as and also, the more you can just be able to just enjoy the nature here, just breathe, enjoy the food, not distract yourself, the better it is. So that's what we're supposed to do here. If you're a first timer, I've noticed there were a lot of hands, like really first timer. I have tomorrow morning, so we have the morning sit here again. And if you want to show up, please do. If you don't want to sleep, please do sleep. Don't have the schedule here now, but it was something like 9 o'clock. Really, for the first timers, I have a group. Usually what we do is personal interviews, but because it's not enough time, we can, and there would have been too many groups. First timers, we're going to meet tomorrow in the foyer outside of it's still inside, but next to the dining hall. Please come there if you want. We're going to have a little group discussion about basics of meditation, or what you heard about, even anything you really want to talk about tomorrow. But we can have personal interviews, but there's going to be small group. If you want to come as a first timer, really first timers only. Don't hog the space from the first timers, okay? If you've been here before, don't come. The second group in afternoon will be for people who feel that they need some guidance. They feel that it's like, I meditated, but I haven't been here again for a long time. And it's like, okay, well, I've done 1 or 2 retreats, but so sort of beginners. Again, if you're trying to have this attitude, it's like, I should know what I'm doing. If you think you're like, I'm all right. Again, so like, it's going to be really just basic about meditation. So in the morning, really the first timers. Afternoon, after, I think it was like 2 o'clock. If you really need something to come and discuss, again, group discussion. It's not interview. It will be like discussion form. Let's have that. But then if you have, and then there will be a Q&A at night time. Not so much chanting. I don't want to keep giving you instructions too much. On the weekend retreat, you had a long week behind you. I don't need to give you information, keep talking and talking and talking. That just keeps your thinking mind going. Meditation, quietness, it's an opposite what thinking is. So look at your thinking mind and say, who's that? Sort of like devalue your thinking. Don't pay too much attention to that. It gets, if you've listened to Ajahn Brahm, he talks about it all the time, but it's easier perhaps said than done, but it can be done. And I would say, if the sitting is too much for you and you just go for a walk and it's just still too much in your head, you can do like little methods but I can talk about tomorrow a little bit more with the beginners classes, that It's like when you're walking, just walk. What it means, just pay attention to the footsteps. Like how does it feel under your feet, or like that kind of movement. But for me, the best is really, it's like feel that, you sit stepping down, stepping. And then you go, you can do that for a while, and then you notice that you went back into the dream world in your head, or go back to the walk. Just keep walking. And that starts calming down your mind really nicely, very easily. You're not so much in your head. When you're in your head, there's a lot of pain there, unfortunately. It's hard to, and the really calmness starts from this kind of happy place, really. This kind of place where you're able to let go. In the beginning, you need to force a little bit, perhaps just a tiny bit, but it should happen very naturally. And that's why about this static thing. That's why body needs to be static. It's not moving too much. It's comfortable enough where, however you're sitting, even if it's just sitting on your bed, lying down, standing for 5 minutes. That's the point of having and these different ways of meditating, where you can just find the body is comfortable for a while. And the same with the mind. That's what happens with the mind. As long as the mind starts to be comfortable, it starts to fade away. And the mind always needs an object. What's always moving? Breath. Breath is moving. When the body is calming down, mind is not so irritated. The thoughts are still calming a little bit, but then the breath starts appearing. And then less and less you go into that dream world, and more the breath is just there with you. And then it's natural. That's the way to go into the breath meditation. It happens very naturally, but first you need to just, endurance is the wrong word, you need to just sort of have this kind attitude. Really, that is the way. It's the only way. Very good. Okay. It's 9:45. Sorry, 8:45. We can have a little guided meditation. So stretch a bit, because you've been sitting for a while. This is what it feels to take a break. Doesn't it feel nice to take a break? For 5 minutes, I don't have to do anything. And then I'm going to be enduring the pain. No, this is the feeling. And it will be only 15-minute guided meditation, and after that you can sit as long as you want. So don't think it will be very long. You know why? Because it's my bedtime. So we'll start soonish, and then we'll do a little bit of guided meditation, and it's like, as long as you want to sit here, and then you want to go for a walk, or want to go and brush your teeth and lie on the bed and meditate, that's whatever you want to do, that's good. So I won't ring the bell at the end, and I think we can turn the lights down or off, or feels nicer. Perfect. And I'm sure your eyes will get used to the darkness later. Hopefully you're not too worried about where your room is, what number it was, all those things, what comes to your mind. I hope you're not thinking too much of your work, your family, health, all these problems we all have. Really, the heroic action this weekend is to be kind toward yourself. If you want to be a good meditator, it is if you're the most relaxed person on Sunday, you will get the medal. Unfortunately, we don't have any medals, but if I would have, I would give it to you. So let's relax the body a little bit more. We don't even notice that there's tension on the body, in the body, on the body, around the body. And quite often there's tension on your shoulders. You're carrying the world on your shoulders. Just allow your shoulders just to relax. Just breathe into the body and allow the body just to collapse a little bit. The shoulders. And the same thing if you have something on your chest, a problem, a bad thing somebody told you or you said to someone, a heartache. Just look at your chest and just breathe out. We all have those problems. We're just humans, all of us. Another place where quite often we carry tension is our tummy. We tend to have problems in our stomachs. That's why it's called the gut feeling. What is your gut feeling today? Just keep breathing into your stomach. Breathe in relaxation and just sigh out anything if you can. If you still have stomach problem, don't make it into anything bigger. Don't own it, so to speak. Just keep breathing into the stomach and out. Feel your neck a little bit as well. How does your neck feel? Is it tense after holding your heavy head up all day? Relax your neck. And one more time again, if you can relax your shoulders again a little bit. And even if you have a tiny bit more relaxation in the body, it feels more kind. What you're really doing is giving kindness to your body. And we can go through the little parts of your body and really try to start giving kindness to different parts of your body. So if you imagine even the smallest toe on your left foot, can you imagine that in your mind's eye? And give it relaxation and kindness to that small toe. And the toe next to it, is there different feelings on that toe? Does it differ from the small toe? What kind of feelings would you have there? Warmth? Maybe pressure if you're sitting on a cushion, or you can feel the foot underneath. Moisture, perhaps it's a little bit of sweat. You can imagine in your mind's eye that toe and really allow it to relax. Give it kindness. And the same thing if you think about the middle toe on your left foot. Don't go rushing too fast with all the other parts of the different toes, but really, if you can, try to think of kindly the middle toe on your left foot. The feelings there. And give it kindness. And the toe next to that, which is maybe an index toe. I should know the name, but I don't know. The toe next to that big toe. And same, the biggest toe on your left foot. Can you really try to relax your big toe on your left foot? And allow all the toes to curl nice and softly on your left foot. And the whole foot from the ankle down, if you can imagine in your mind. Feel the feelings under your left foot, on top of it, and allow the foot from ankle down to the toes to be kind and soft. And we can think of all the toes on your right foot, sort of feeling as a whole. Allow them to relax, relax. And then continue the journey up into the ankle and with the right foot. What does it feel under the sole of your right foot? And then allow the right foot to relax. From the ankle on the right foot to the knee. from the knee to the pelvis. The whole right leg, allow it to be held up by its own weight only. And you feel your pelvis, your buttocks, or even the pelvic bone. And then go down from the pelvis on your left leg towards the knee and the ankle. And the whole left foot as well is just resting on its own weight. And you start feeling like you're sitting in the warm water of kindness. Everything from your pelvis down feels like it's just sitting there relaxing on its own weight. And if you pay attention again into your tummy, can you see movements? Just the stomach is just going back and forth, up and down. Allow the stomach to relax again for a while. Just feel the breath going in and out your stomach. In the same way, give kindness to anything in the stomach, even if there is tension or pain in the stomach. And same on your lower back, and middle back. Allow the back to find its own curvature. No need to be tense. And all the way to the upper back. And if you feel your right shoulder, it's almost pulled down by the right hand. Allow the right shoulder just to relax, relax. And the same with your left shoulder. The left hand is almost pulling down on your left shoulder. Allowing the left shoulder to relax. Relax. The whole body starts feeling like it's just breathing there, holding itself upright. Sitting in this warm kindness. Your left hand is just naturally sitting there, resting on its own weight. And if you think the individual fingers. You feel your thumb on your left hand. What kind of feelings do you have there? Or the index finger on your left hand. Give all the kindness you have now towards the index finger on your left hand. Allow it to relax. Same with the middle finger on your left hand. The ring finger and the small finger are all pinky. They're all just naturally curving, being kind. And if you start on the right hand with the pinky, allow it to relax. And same on the right hand ring finger. Allow it to relax as well. And the middle finger. And the index finger and the thumb, they're all kindly resting, softly relaxing. Allow all the fingers on your right hand to relax. Relax. The whole right hand itself is just naturally on its own weight, resting wherever it is. Your whole body from the neck down feels like it's surrounded by kindness. It's holding itself upright in this sea of warm kindness water. Just allow the body to breathe. Just relax. And then if you move to the muscles on your face, the muscles around your jaws, which are the strongest muscles in your body. Allow your jaw muscles to relax. And the tongue inside of your mouth just resting on its own weight. Allow it to relax, relax. All the cheek muscles and even the nose. Are all kindly soft. And if you feel your right eyeball, what does your right eyeball feel like? What are the feelings? This softness and wet around your right eyeball. Even allow the right eyeball to relax. What about the muscles behind the right eyeball? The ones are really what makes the eye to work. Allow those muscles to relax. Relax. And the same if you think of your left eyeball. Do you feel how nice and soft it is there? Allow the left eyeball to relax. The same, the muscles on your left eye socket. They'll be working very hard. Allow them to relax. Your whole face hopefully feels a bit more kind and soft. And the body is just holding itself up. Whatever posture it wants to take, allow it to be. And then you might notice the body is still breathing. There's movement within the body. Just notice the body breathing. Just enjoy the body, this soft, kind feeling. Enjoy the body breathing. The more you can enjoy, the longer this will last. And when it fades away, allow it to fade away, don't hold it. Just enjoy while this lasts, this kind, soft feeling. Just allow the body to breathe.